Welcome back to Harmony Stitches. I'm Harmony. Thank you so much for coming and visiting with me today. And if you subscribed last week or liked the video or commented or shared with anyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming back, giving me a second chance, and I hope that I have something good to show you today. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I want to show you my item that I got ready for display. This is Chicken Love by Stitching with the Housewives. It is free on Priscilla's blog, and I got it all done. I do need to fix this a little bit. The ribbon is falling down, but again, I cut a piece of cardboard to fit the size that I wanted it to be. I also cut a piece of felt, and then I wrapped them both and mounted on there. And then another piece of cardboard with red fabric, and then mounted those two. These are those felt flowers that I got from the dollar store, and then the fabric. And I just laid it all out, looped it, and then I hot glued it all together. So I just need to fix this side because the glue is coming undone a little bit. And then this has a hanger, so it can be hung up. So that's Chicken Love. So that's the finished pieces. One of the comments last week was asking about a sweater pattern that I recommended for kind of a new beginner. I did recommend the sweater that I'm wearing today, and this is Foxtrot by Greene. And I use Lolo Did It in the color Rivendell. My husband picked it out. It was named after Lord of the Rings. I do recommend this sweater because the instructions are very thorough and laid out, and there's different sections for you to kind of keep track of where you are at. And Marie Greene from Olive Knits is very helpful, so if you do get stuck, you can email her and ask for assistance. We did have a Facebook group when we did this, and a lot of people were having trouble with the neckline. I am so impressed with myself because, one, I've never made a cardigan before, and two, I was able to get this neckline put on, and it's as perfect as what a newbie could get it. But I also like the button band. Now, it doesn't have buttonholes, but you could probably add them if you're more experienced. So this is Rivendell, Foxtrot by Marie Greene from Olive Knits. She teaches you how to, in the pattern, it shows you how to do all of the steps from its top down. It's so easy. Another one of the patterns that I recommended on there was the Verde cardigan, and it's a child size, but kind of making something on a mini scale may help a new person, a new to cardigan knitting, a new to sweater knitting person, to be able to walk through those steps and not be overwhelmed by making a size large sweater or size medium sweater because it's so small. I made one of those back in October for a coworker. Her daughter was getting married, and the little granddaughter was going to wear over her dress, and it's so cute. I do have the project in my Ravelry project pages, but I don't have the picture uploaded yet because the only good picture that was taken of it, I forgot to take pictures before I gave it to her, has the granddaughter's face, and I needed to ask permission first, and I just haven't done that yet. But go ahead and check my project pages. I do have a lot of things in there, but I'm really bad at taking the pictures and uploading those, but you go ahead and take a look. And of course, if you have any questions about anything that I've done so far or anything that I recommend, I by no means am an expert knitter, but I can help guide you along and help you find something. Okay, so then we're going to go on to the rest of the WIPs, the works in progress that I couldn't find last week or I forgot downstairs in the living room. So we'll start with this one because it's closer to me. This is called, I keep calling it the flag scarf, but it's not the flag scarf. It's called Protest is Patriotic. And let's see, I wrote down the designer. Maybe I did not. I did not. What I do know about this is I started it on New Year's Eve. What I needed to do for New Year's Eve to even have a chance to make it till midnight was to keep myself busy and keep cycling through WIPs and all kinds of things. Like I did my nails and I cross stitched and I started this knitting project and I kept doing different things so that way I could stay awake so my brain didn't fall asleep. So last week when we talked, even though I didn't show you, I was around in this area. And then this week I got through the stars and then I started on the stripes. So I was able to get all of this done this week. And most of it is just straight knit. except for you do have increases and decreases to get this bias look to it. So it goes off to the ankle. The only thing I'm not happy about is all of the ends, because every time you add a stripe, you're going to have a couple of ends to even. So there is that. The yarn I'm using is Lolo Did It, and it's from the Dumbledore club that I was in, and it's the blue and red. One of them is called Choices, and one of them is called Dreams, which I thought was really fitting for a flag project. I just don't know which one is which, but they're red and blue, and they go really well together. And then I went to my local yarn shop. Here's the tag for this one, and I got the white, because the one skein that I did get from the Dumbledore club, the Quotable Dumbledore club, it had a lot of like purplies in it. It was called Muggle Magazine, and it just wasn't appropriate to mix with these, so I had to get this. So actually the white, or very light cream, is from Cascade Yarns, and it's Heritage. And there's actually a lot in here. There's 437 yards. So I'm hoping to have some left over for another project. But I'm not sure if I will. And if not, I'll just go and get some more. And that white yarn was part of my purchases over Christmas. And I'll show you the rest of those items at the end. Okay, so that was that. Now this one, I was taking back and forth to work, and that's why I forgot to grab it, because it was in my work bag. I have a tote bag that I take everything back and forth. Now I am not ironing anything until I go to finish it, so this is very wrinkly. This is cross stitch, and I stitch in hand, so it is definitely been worked on. So let me see if I can fold this so you can see these. I am quite far. This is 12 Days of Christmas, first day, 6th day. This is a freebie chart from Plum Street Sampler. And all of these are done except for 7, I believe. 4th, 3rd. Yeah, 7th day. I don't have the beaks on the little swans. Are those swans? Yes, swans. Because there's only 2 stitches in each one. On each little swan, there's only 2 gray stitches, and I didn't want to start a whole thread, do 2 stitches, cut it, and then do that for the other 4, because there's 5 of them. I thought it would be wasteful, so I was going to see if I had any scraps. I thought I would have scraps from this one, from the 8 Maids of Milking, but I was able to use all the gray scraps from this one to get all the milk buckets in. So no scraps, but that's okay. I will get those beaks in later. And then I did start on 9 Ladies Dancing on the 9th day. So I am quite far in this project. I put it in timeout for a while because I got to the 9 Ladies Dancing and I was just like, oh boy. So the threads that I picked, she just tells you red, gold, and black. Red, green, gold, and black. So you get to pick your own. So let's see, I am using DMC 729 for the gold color, and I'm making all of the crowns that are standalone crowns that color, because I was afraid that I was going to run out of the other colors, but then I went back and got more anyway. And for the red, I'm using 816, and the green, I'm using 702. And for the black, I didn't want to use black because I thought that it would be too stark of a contrast between the soft muted Christmas colors and the black. So I had some Anchor 400 left in my stash from something else. So I decided to use that, and it's perfect. I really like the way that it's turning out. I have 4.5 blocks to go, 3.5 blocks. 3.5, if I can count to 12 properly. So that one shouldn't take that long. If I just buckled down and did it, 1 block only takes like a solid 2 days. So it's not that much. Okay, and the next whip that was missing last week are crocheted socks. I already finished a pair of these in a different colorway in Patton's Croy, but these are, I don't even have the ball band, but it's a non-wool. So I had some black, so I'm doing the toes, heels, and cuffs in black, and then the rest of the sock in this color. So So those crochet socks. And I'm actually, look at this one. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that I was all the way up to the ribbing on the sock. So this one is actually quite far along. This one just needs the heel turn flap thing and then the rest of the foot. And I like short socks, so this one's actually to the cuff already, and I didn't even realize it. So I actually could finish that up in a short time too. I don't know why I do that to myself. Like, why do I get so far along in the project and then just like put it aside? And I don't know why I do that. Okay, the last WIP, which I didn't even think about when I was getting them together last week. This is a WIP that I am making for a coworker. The same person actually that I made the Verde cardigan for her granddaughter. I'm using the leftover yarn and making a baby wrap, and this is Malabrigo. I have no idea what colorway it is. It is actually showing up more purple than what it is. It's actually more blues, different shades of blues. It's really pretty. But she's a photographer on the side. It's like her side hustle, and she's really good with the babies and the newborns. And she wanted, I said, hey, since we have this leftover yarn, why don't I make you a baby wrap out of it? And she really wanted a color kind of like this in her studio collection anyway. So I am making that, and I need it 60 inches long, and this is how far I am. So I'm maybe like 20, not 20 inches. I'm not 20 inches. I don't know what I was trying to say. I was trying to do math, and I just shouldn't try to do math while I'm trying to make a video at the same time. That's not going to work. So those were the WIPs that were missing from last time. So I hope you like those. And then the next thing are the WIPs that I was working on this week, which was Pandemic, which will be a weekly thing. I don't know if I'll show it to you every week just because I don't know how much progress I'll get done. But each month, I hope to get a minimum of a page and a half or a page and a quarter done. There's 20 pages to this project. And if I do a page and a quarter every single month, then I should be able to get it done by the end of the year. And I'll complete this huge project from January 1st to December 31st. So that's my goal. And I actually I did not work on this for like 4 days this week, but I did get decent progress. I did finish the flowers down on the bottom. I finished the flower pot here, and then I put in some of this along the side. I did put in a little bit more border. So that was about 19 strands of floss that I put in it just this week alone. And I am almost at, I'm like at 1.5 pages. So if I can get the rest of that second page done by the end of this month, then I'm sitting pretty good. Because I just anticipate that later on in the year. You know, I mean, we all know that we never know what's going to happen. We can't predict anything. So if I can get ahead a little bit, then I'm hoping that if I have a month where I can't stitch as much, then I'll still be able to get it done. So last week I showed you that on my little wheel spin on my app, I spun His Name is Jesus. So besides Pandemic, it was my focus piece of cross stitch, and then the flag scarf to knit. And I am so happy with the amount of progress that I got done on this week. So before, when I showed it to you last week, I basically had from root of Jessie down to the O on Counselor. So I had like this little section here. And now I'm all the way to the top on the right-hand side. And then I am all the way over to the left on the bottom. And I've started Jesus and name in the center. So I was able to complete so much of this in 1 week. And I know that some of you may ask, like, why don't you just keep working on it then? And a couple of things. I usually do that. But then what I find is that I get bored and frustrated because, you know, kind of like burnt out on the same project, working on it every day over and over and over. And I did touch this every single day from Sunday to yesterday, Sunday to Saturday. I worked on it every day. And so I'm hoping that by doing it this way, choosing Pandemic and then one other focus piece by using the wheel spin, that I won't get bored. I'll be able to make great progress in that week. And then if I do get anything finished, like if I complete a project like Starry Night, that shouldn't take me the entire week to get both of those little charts done. Then I'll be able to go back to it and make more progress, and I won't be bored or burnt out on it. So I'm hoping that that's the case. So today, this morning when I woke up and I spun my wheel, I spun the heart silhouette. And if you remember from last week, this was on the 20 count Bellana that I received in a stash, like past the stash. And so I have not worked on it yet today, but I will be working on it this week. And I hope to be able to finish a page or two because it goes pretty quickly, even though there's a lot of stitching, in each page. So I'll be working on that, and I'll be able to show you progress next week. So I'm really excited about that. And then the only other thing that I have to show you is the rest of the purchases that I made with my Christmas money and spending money for January. I was already allocated that. I was very blessed this year and got quite a bit of spending money. So the white yarn I already showed you in the flag scarf. And then this yarn, oh, that's pretty true to color right there. It's really pretty. It's almost like a fuchsia magenta color. And then like a charcoal black, some white, and then there's specks of yellow in there. And I'm sure that that's going to create some really good interest when I stitch this up. My plan for this one is to make the Katie shawl, and that's from Cozy Up Knits, and I will definitely link their Ravelry page, their store down below in the description box. And so I'm going to use this as my main color and then the white as the accent color. And like I said, if I don't have enough, then I'll just go buy another skein because it's very affordable. So that's my plan with that. I'm so excited for it, but I need to get a project done first before I move on. Another item that I received was these magnetic, these are really cool. A lot of cross stitchers are using these now, but I made a mistake and bought the wrong ones. They are silicone twist ties, and they're magnetic. So the two magnets hook together, and you can, really what they were designed to do is wrangle your cords, like on your TV or your computer or something like that. And you just put your cords in it and you stick it, and it kind of keeps them in check. But a lot of cross stitchers are using them to keep the extra fabric in check from their big projects like Pandemic. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of fabric there. However, look at, they're too short. They're too short. And I found that the magnets are not very strong, so you can't have very many pieces of material, like fabric, in between them, or it won't, if you have more than two layers, it won't hold. So they keep falling off. So I'm either going to send them back or just use them in the kitchen for chips. I don't even know if they'll work on a bag of chips, or if my husband thinks that they'll be useful around the house. They were inexpensive, so even if I don't send them back, I'm not like out a ton of money. I think the whole package, there's a lot in here. 16, so 8 different colors. There's 2 of each. They were only like $4.99, so I won't be out a ton of money. But it's kind of a bummer because I was really looking forward to having it to help me with the fabric on Pandemic over here. So that's plan B, buy some longer ones. So anyway, another thing that I got was a food scale. And I just got this at my grocery store in the kitchen aisle. And I got it because it's really handy when you're knitting or crocheting a project. Like last week I showed you my Raina, and I have like a little ball like this big left. And if I had a scale, I could have been measuring like, okay, how long is it taking me to do the 2 pattern repeat? How much yarn am I using? I probably could have got 2 more rows out of that and finished it all up instead of having a scrap. My goal is to kind of just use all of it instead of having scraps. If I don't, then I can make a cozy memories blanket or scrappy socks or something, but I don't like to weave in ends. So I don't know really what I want to do, but I prefer to make the projects as big as possible so that way I can avoid that. So the last thing, which it's in the box, and I don't really know how I can show you, but it's a Swift. It's an Amish style tabletop Swift, and see, here's the arms, 2 of the arms, and they have, oops, I'm showing you the wrong size. They have the hole, so depending on how big your skein is like wide when you unroll it, then you put dowels in here and you put them together like Lincoln logs, and then it has a stand, and then it just sits on your table, so you don't have to clamp it to anything, because my kitchen table doesn't allow for me to clamp because it has a big lip on it, and so I can't clamp. And since I had all of this Lolo Did It yarn that needs to be caked up, I'm like, well, let's see. And I ended up getting a gift certificate for Christmas, so I'm like, hey, it makes it even more affordable. Let's go ahead and get this. And it was recommended by the Crazy Sock Lady. I went to her, she has it in her description box of all of her videos. She has an Amazon shop front, and I clicked on it there, and then that way she gets a little bit by me shopping through her store. So I like to spread that around. The other things that I received, which if I remember, which editing last week went pretty well, but I was having technical difficulties with my iPad. So I don't know if I can, but if I can, I will put in a picture of the Chrissy shawl. I'm sorry, it's called the Katie shawl by Cozy Up Knits. That's the one that I'm going to knit after I get the flag scarf done. I bought that. And then also from Cozy Up Knits, I got that slipper sock, the Joe's Perfect Slipper Sock pattern. And so I purchased both of those from them, I think on Christmas Day. And I did make the slipper socks, and maybe I'll show you next week because they're super cute and they fit perfectly, and I'm super excited for them. So actually, that's it for my update this week. I hope that you saw something that inspired you to get knitting or get cross stitching or maybe even crochet. I know someone commented last week that it was going to help encourage them to get going on their WIPs. So I hope that I'm that encouragement for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions about anything that I showed here, go ahead and put a comment down below. I will have everything linked. But other than that, I will see you next week. Thanks.